CISL 650 presents the best of food and wine with Anthony Gismondi and Kasey Wilson live from the Wines of Canada stage at the 2017 Vancouver International Wine Festival. Now, here's Tony and Kasey.
Well, welcome back to the best of food and wine. I'm Tony Gismondi.
I'm Kasey Wilson.
We're ending up the festival with a handful of Canadian winemakers, brilliant ones if you like. Craig McDonald joins us from Trius Winery in Ontario. Craig, welcome to the show. Welcome to Vancouver.
Thanks, mate. It's
I know
great to be here.
You've been out before, but what do you think of this festival?
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. I was warned that it's going to get really busy and loud and maybe slightly out of control, but no, it's been fantastic.
There's still an hour to go.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And you started in Oregon?
Well, no, that was my first foray in North America, but I'm an Aussie, and I started over there, and I was at Penfolds, Lindemans, Stonia and Mornington, DeBortley and Coldstream in the Yarra Valley.
It was whipped into shape.
Yeah, it beat me in a submission for sure, yeah.
How did you get from Oregon to Ontario?
Well, as all good Aussies, I met a Canadian girl initially.
Oh yes, that's usually the story.
And dropped the anchor in Ontario, but it was a tasting I did actually while I was working in Oregon with Angelo Cavan. I met him at Cave Springs, and it kind of blew me away actually. Riesling and Chardonnay, and then I went over to Niagara-on-the-Lake and went to Trius, ironically, and tried the wines there. So I thought there's something special here for sure. And decided to make it home. Yeah.
Even all that cold weather.
Yeah, well, the beauty of Lake Ontario is it does moderate it a bit. You just don't want to go up to Buffalo over the top there. That'll freeze you. Or the other side of the lake. But it's pretty special down in Niagara. It's quite insulated, and one of the reasons we were able to grow grapes.
You get accustomed to snow, though.
Yeah, I actually just started taking ski lessons this year. I've been here 20 years but never skied. So.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm working hard.
Good for you.
But you're not snowboarding.
No, I'm too old and too smart for that. So
Gee, this is what everybody says. I had no
skis
idea.
And long ones. That's what I say.
No, I don't know. I think vintage is hard enough on my body, let alone pounding myself into the snow. But it's been great. The lifestyle in BC and the food and the culture and the general rhythm of life is very intoxicating, actually. I love it out here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And you get out here a fair bit now.
Yeah, my job is I'm in charge of all the wines for the Andrew Peller Group, so I'm working a lot with Howard Soon and Karen Gillis at Sandhill and Red Rooster and the gang. Yeah, no, it's awesome.
Okay, you brought a couple of wines. This time we're going to talk about Ontario. We haven't talked very much about Ontario wines on the show. The Trius Brut with a fantastic nose. Oh my God, I just want to drink this whole wine just smelling it.
You go right ahead, mate.
Yeah.
That's what it's there for.
Yeah, it just smells so great. Tell us a little bit about sparkling wine in Ontario. It's become sought after, and a lot of people are making it.
Yeah, it really jumped. I was saying in one of the seminars 5 years ago, there's only a dozen producers making traditional method and Charmat, and now there's over 40 in 5 years.
Yeah.
So it's really gaining popularity, and rightly so too. It's got a place in Ontario, I think, and it has that finesse and crisp acidity and delicacy that I think good sparkling wines deserve.
And you have like really good conditions for that base wine, I assume, because that sets the tone for it all.
Yeah, one of the things, Anthony, I was fortunate to inherit a great bevy of non-vintage base blends. This wine that you're trying is Trius Brut, and it's a combination of 6 years of different base blends, 70% Chardonnay, 30% Pinot Noir. So, yeah, it's very complex, and then it's downstairs for 2 years.
And what is the price on this wine?
It's around about 27 in BC, a couple of dollars less in Ontario, but it's
cheap.
It's pretty inexpensive.
Yeah.
It is.
For the quality and all of it, it's really a bargain.
Yeah, no, we love it, and it's a wine that I was drinking long before I started at Trius, to be honest. It's a iconic wine, the first sparkling, traditional sparkling wine in Ontario. Right there with Harry, actually, and his old Sumac East Stellas J. That
yes,
was
right.
Back in the 80s.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
had you made sparkling wine before?
Not a lot, no. No, I'd made a lot of Pinot and Chardonnay, but the good news was that the Frenchies that were there long before me that started it, way back in Hillebrand days, they set up a really good program, and it was pretty straightforward. You know, it's a very time-honoured way of doing it. There's no real shortcuts. It's very straightforward. It all starts with having good growers and good vineyards, which we have, and really keeping it very simple and giving it time.
You've got sort of a unique, cool club going on in Ontario now. Is it a Fizz Club or?
Yeah, it's a Fizz Club, we call it, and it's a real collegial group of winemakers through Brock University. So our resident winemaker in staff there has organised a great club where we get together, and it's lots of technical discussions and. We went to Champagne as a group last year and really got involved with the IOC and some great producers there. Went into the deep into Champagne and learned a lot and brought it back. So
that's an excellent idea.
It's it's part of the Aussie makeup, the sort of improve the breed idea that I've heard so many times before. Like you're only as good as your worst winery. Like get everybody in the game or get out, sort of thing.
You know what? I'll be honest. It's a good excuse to go on a bit of a boozy holiday with your mates overseas as well. And
of course,
you can drink champagne all day.
You
Anthony.
can,
And you know we didn't go too heavy. We only had 2 or 3 visits a day, but it was just to immerse yourself in Mecca of sparkling wine is the right thing to do. So,
cool.
Yeah.
And isn't it wonderful to see so much interest in sparkling wine now, because it didn't used to be like that in North America, only special occasions. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, we're getting good. I think people drink bubbles all the time now. It's very festive, of course, but it's something you should drink more often, more regularly, and it's a relative bargain considering everything else that's on the market. You know,
it lets you drink more other wines.
Yeah. Well, it opens the door maybe sometimes too quickly on the evening, but it definitely gets everybody in the right mood. That's
all right.
Sure.
Let's talk about the Trius Red. I have some of these bottles in my cellar. They're older vintages, but they keep sliding off the shelf.
Right.
And it looks like it's pretty much the same shape.
Yeah, it's an iconic bottle for sure that we did back in 1989, and it's never changed. It is a pain in the neck to stack, but it is part of the brand, and it sort of typifies the style of wine because it hasn't changed much either.
Yeah.
Like the bottle, it's Cabernet Franc based, and Cabernet, it's 43% Cabernet Franc, 42 Cabernet, and just a splash of Merlot. So it's basically a Cabernet blend, first and foremost, with a real focus on texture and structure and acidity. You know, it's got a real fighting spirit to it. It's not a wine that is cheap and cheerful. It's got a lot of grit to it, and that comes from the Bordeaux. You know, the Cabernet Sauvignon left bank style of wine that, you know.
And you're changing those percentages every vintage?
Yeah, I do. I've sort of settled on Cabernet Franc as the forebearer. And in certain years, like 2015, which this wine was on paper shouldn't have been a great year for Cab Sauv, but it was excellent. It was a year that we had some winter injury, and we thought, my goodness, we're going to be in trouble. But there's a lot of natural thinning in the vineyards, and we got really good concentration. So. But it's a delicate wine. It's not, you know, they're very distinct wines that are different from BC, for example, and that's the sense of place that we have, and it's been really well received by the public here. I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
BC is, you know, they love their own, but they're also very open-minded about the rest of Canada as well. So.
Yeah. Well, I think we're finally going to get to that point where we can open up a bit and accept all these wines into the market. It's kind of odd. I mean, I've been in BC so long, and you couldn't sell a bottle of Washington wine and you couldn't sell a bottle of Ontario wine, but it's changing. It just takes a bit more knowledge and
a different way of thinking, and you know, sort of the political will to change some of the barriers that we have.
Yeah,
and
true.
All that good stuff. But yeah, it's finally happening. I think
even Australians drink Kiwi wine now.
Yeah, I know. we drink like Oyster Bay Sauvignon Blanc is the
number one.
Was the biggest selling white wine in Australia for a while. We love that personality that Savvy has, you know.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, we're pretty. We'll drink anything, to be honest.
Yeah, that's cool. There's a lot of talk about you know, how many grapes we have in BC, and there's a big focus in Ontario. What do you think about regions that either get more focused or not, or would you like to have a big palette of grapes, or do you want to focus? What's the thinking about that?
You know, Angelo Pavan, I'll go back to him. He's one of my mentors. And when I first came here, he said to me, Craig, look, there's only 5 varieties you should be growing in Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
Riesling, Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, Gamay, and Cabernet Franc.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it took me 20 years to realise that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was a wise man. Everything else is just a series of colour within the palette of that framework, you know. And we can make world-class wines with those 5 varieties. It's just that we have a mix of other things in there as well. So we choose very carefully what we colour our palette with to accent that. And BC, I see in my limited time here that, you know, north of Penticton is a real exciting area in the cooler half of the Okanagan Valley. I'm pretty excited what's going on in Lake Country and up around Tantalus there. I mean, Dave's knocking out some pretty serious, sinewy, tight, tense wines that are really, really changing people's perception of what BC is. Mm-hmm. And I'd like to see more of that. And certainly a good mate, Darryl Brooker, is at the helm at Mission Hill. It's exciting to see what he's going to do too.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some electricity injected into those wines, which will be great.
Yeah, they'll resonate. They'll have a great frequency to them that he's done in all of his wines to date.
Yeah.
So yeah, that to me, I think we're maybe not quite there varietally, but it's on the right path, and I see the northern half being pretty exciting. But you know, hey, Merlot, Syrah, Pinot Gris, you know, they're excellent from the south.
Cab Franc looks like it's going to do well in BC from what we can see.
Yep. No, it's I mean, it's all there for sure. I mean, the wines are getting more precise as time goes by.
Yep.
You know, awesome, mate. No, it's good to check it out.
So where are you going to live when you come here?
Well, I just bought a house in Kelowna, as a matter of fact.
There you go.
Yeah,
Smart.
no, I oversee all the wines. It's kind of a 50-50 split of my time, east-west now, and we're very interested in what's happening in the Okanagan for sure.
Yeah, that's cool.
Notwithstanding what we do in Ontario,
of course.
It's exciting here for sure.
Yeah. Well, the home base is well set up.
Yeah, no, I've got a great team out there for sure. I've got a great guild of winemakers that have really got it dialed in. We're over the worst of our short crop years, and but no, we're investing quite a bit of money in the West and looking at those opportunities, and it's just an exciting time. It feels very fresh for me when I look at through the lens at BC. It feels really awesome. So you know, and the collegial nature of the industry here is changing as well. Even though we're 150 kilometres apart, you know, good groups of guys getting together and gals and tasting and
finally,
it's starting to happen, and I love to be part of that as well and push that as I can. So.
Craig McDonald, great to see you.
Likewise, mate.
Nice to hear you about a house in Kelowna.
Yeah, beautiful British Columbia after all, mate.
You learn a lot of stuff on this show.
I'll say.
And thanks for sharing with us today. Just a terrific Trius Brut sparkling wine, roughly $27 in and out of the market. The Trius Red as well, a blend of Cab Franc, Cab Sauvignon Merlot.
You bet.
Classic, iconic wine from Ontario. Thanks for joining us. Maybe we'll see a bit more of you.
Undoubtedly. You will. Look forward to it, mate.
Great.
Thank you.
Craig McDonald, talking about Trius, of course, highly involved in the entire Peller estate program. You're listening to the Best of Food and Wine. Thank you, Wines of Canada. We'll take a quick break and come back. We're going to talk more. I think we're going to go to Nova Scotia next and talk a bit about sparkling wine. Stick around.
We're live from the Wines of Canada stage at the 2017 Vancouver International Wine Festival. There's more of the show coming up in just 2 minutes.